Hi guys, so I'm going to read Action Comics number 10. The cover is Superman on it. He's punching a plane this time. So what does it say? So these are a bunch of like facts. Or Sheldon Moldoff. I've heard he was very important to DC. I know. I think he made the Flash or the second Flash, the Barry Allen Flash. So nevertheless, it's true. At the time of discovery of America, there were about 1 million Indians. Today, there are only 335,000, but they're being increasing steadily. Okay. So this was in 1939, right? So there are about 45 stocks of Indian languages with about 300 dialects. So yeah, they're not. I don't think Native American was used at this time. They just called them Indians. The Seminoles of Florida are still unconquered. Canoeing, lacrosse, snowshoeing, and the crawl stroke came from the Indians. 25 states in the U.S. have Indian names. Twins were regarded as an evil by most tribes. In some instances, the killing of one of both children was practiced. Okay. I'm going to be a tobacco auction. What? The fastest reader ever was an 8-year-old boy who read 2,202 words a minute. The better to haunt you with, my dear. The Japanese army uses bees for sending messages instead of pigeons. Okay, I don't know if some of this is true or not. A law in Oregon says that all hotel sheets must be at least 9 feet long. George Washington held the wrestling championship of Virginia. He retired at 18. Okay, that's interesting, I guess. So Superman, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, leaping over skyscrapers, running faster than an express train, springing great heights and distances, lifting and smashing tremendous weights, possessing an impenetrable skin. These are all the amazing physical attributes which Superman, savior of the helpless and oppressed, avails himself of as he battles the forces of evil and injustice. So that's Superman drawings on Superman number 1. I'm going to read part of it in one of the future videos, because most of Superman number 1 is reprints of issues we already read already. So most of it I can't, there's no point in reading them, because we already read those stories, because they're just reprints. So, editor, the Daily Star, send a reporter to 18 Hogan Street, and he'll receive a story that'll make the headlines. Probably just a crank, but look into it, Kent. Most likely, there will be no such address. Someone called the Daily Star. They said, "It was me. Step in quickly. I have a story to tell you that the world must know. A story of terror, cruelty, and shocking brutality. But first, I must have your word that you will not reveal my identity. You have my pledge as a reporter." I remove my shirt. What do you see? Welts. Good Lord, where did you get them? Under the whip, lash of the Quarrytown chain gang. But this is only one of the horrors we prisoners suffer. Starvation, the sweatbox, living like cattle. I couldn't stand them any longer. I escaped. Do you know me now? I am the widely sought fugitive, Walter Crane. I want you to tell your readers all about the rotten conditions at Quarrytown chain gang, so that public opinion will force a reform. Will you help me? Gladly. Now let me have the details. Daily Star, shocking cruelties inflicted upon Quarrytown prisoners. Beginning today, a gripping expose series by the Daily Star ace reporter Clark Kent. Yeah, what Superman does later in this is really stupid, and I don't know. I don't actually even consider it canon because it's so stupid what he does. But the lazy dog claims he's too sick to work. Sick, eh? I'll show him how we treat loafers around here. Take him to the post. Not the post. Mercy, ow. Scum. I'll flail the skin off your back. In a murderous frenzy of sadistic hate, Superintendent Wyman strikes again. Howl, blast you. Howl, louder, louder. The governor is outside the gate. They're letting him in. So his nibs are pussyfooting around again, hey? Take this no-good loafer and keep him hidden while the governor is here. Well, if it ain't Governor Bixby, glad you dropped in. Always glad to see my good friend, the governor. I'm afraid you won't particularly enjoy my visit this time, Wyman. Look at this, a newspaper series decrying conditions here. It's a blasted dirty lie. If I'd believed for 1 second that it was true, by heavens There's no better way to satisfy you than to have you speak directly to the men themselves. Have them tell you what they think of their treatment. You may be strict, Superintendent, but I can't believe you'd be guilty of downright cruelty. Stop workmen. The governor here wants to know if any of you have been mistreated. Now don't be afraid to talk if anybody has a beef to make. Why, speak up. I'm going to speak up. Shut up, you fool. If you dare to open your mouth, Wyman will kill you, not quickly, but through a slow, lingering torture. The men stand silent while guards grip their rifles in readiness, should any man dare to talk. You see, Governor, they nothing to say. They're contented. Now, do you believe me? Most assuredly, we must stop these slanderous series. Actually, what Superman's doing might have not been really stupid, actually. Considering that, like, the governor is apparently really stupid, apparently. So maybe what Superman does later isn't actually stupid, but I don't know, it's up to interpretation anyway. After the governor has gone, the prisoner you whipped, sir, he died of his injuries. Who cares? That's a story in the newspaper. There's only one man who could have supplied the details. Walter Crane. Right. Pack my things. I'm taking a little trip north. 2 days later, editor's office of the Daily Star. The story you've been running about me is libelous. I demand a retraction and apology. Sorry, we secured our information from an authoritative source. If you wanted to sue, go right ahead. It will make a good story for our paper. I want to talk to this wise guy, Clark Kent, who writes these lies. That can be arranged. Kent, will you please step into my office? Oh, sorry. Clark, meet Superintendent Wyman, who claims to have be a much maligned man. It appears he resents your article pertaining to his chain gang. Superintendent Wyman. That's right, you lying skunk. Lying? That's not true. If you didn't make up those stories out of your own head, where did you get them? I have a right to know. You see, well, I got them from, shit, I can't tell you. Yeah, I think in the States there's something called, like, freedom of the press, so I don't know, like, any of this would actually be... And I'm not even sure if this is in the same state as, like, Wyman is even in the same state as where Metropolis is, too. So none of this really makes any sense, but anyway. It happens to be a reporter's code never to reveal his source of information. A pledge not to do so. Well, I happen to know who the stool is. Walter Crane. Answer me. It is him, isn't it? I, yeah, I do think there's a lot of this story is really stupid. Like, first of all, Superman wouldn't give up some guy like that. He wouldn't risk somebody like that. Even this Golden Age, like, more edgy Superman. It's more like edgy Superman who, like, destroys stuff and that. Like, more of a... He's more like an activist Superman. Like, he wouldn't do something like this. And second, there's freedom of the press, and he doesn't have to tell Wyman anything. I'm not... Yeah, again, I don't even know if he's in the same state. It's never actually said whether or not he's even in the same state as Wyman. So none of this is... All of this is just pretty much to fill out pages, pretty much. I find it's very stupid, but anyway. Mr. Kent, I don't like to be crude, but you had to happen to realize that harboring a fugitive criminal makes you an accessory to the fact. Yeah, he's not harboring anybody, actually. Do you realize that if you don't reveal Crane's hiding place, you will be equally guilty and face a jail sentence? Keeping to his adopted attitude of cowardness, Kent frantically blurts out, yeah, it's just for, like, dramatic. It doesn't make any sense. Like I just said, it's to fill out pages, pretty much. A lot of these, early Superman stories, I know these guys created Superman, but there's a lot of bad writing, I find. But anyway. He's staying at the 18 Hogan Street. Don't prosecute me. I'll tell you anything you want to know. That's more like it. Kent. If you'd given me a straight tip, I'll drop all the charges against you. But by Jupiter, if this is a bum steer, I assure you I'm not lying. Wyman. Yeah, me. I thought you'd escape, eh? Or thought you'd smear me all over the papers, you scum, when I get you back to Corytown. No, not the chain gang. Don't like the idea of going back, huh? Well, don't worry. I'll lose no time in making you feel right at home. In a little sweatbox. That's been waiting for you. You. This is your fault. I trusted you. I'm sorry. Another thing, too, Superman would have probably investigated himself, went to the chain gang before all of this anyway. He wouldn't have done it after faking to expose this guy. He wouldn't have, like, I don't know, I'm not good at explaining things. I'm sorry, guys, I'm really bad at explaining things. What I'm trying to say is, he wouldn't have investigated afterwards of this guy being arrested. He would have investigated immediately. That's what Superman would have done, because he's Superman. And it doesn't make any sense to me why this story's like this, but anyway. You're sorry. What about me? Doomed to a living death because you were. Shut your trap. Later, when Clark re-enters the Daily Star offices, everyone turns their back on him. The rat, betraying a helpless man's confidence. I wouldn't even dirty my hands by socking him. If he isn't fired, I'll quit. Actually, that could be Jimmy Olsen there. I never noticed that before. That actually could be Jimmy Olsen. I'm not sure though, but looks like him. Lois, at least you'll understand, won't you? That superintendent, he was so brutal I was afraid. How dare you even speak to me after what you've done, you loathsome wench. Get away from me. Kent, back. You, back, I'd ought to. Wait, Chief, let me explain. What could you possibly say that can justify your betrayal of Crane's trust and your integrity as a reporter? Can't you see? I hated to do it. I didn't want to betray him, but I was forced to. Forced to save your own miserable hide of all the low. You still don't understand. I did it to seal Wyman's doom. He'll go back to Corytown now, convinced more than ever that he can get away with any form of brutality. He'll go to even further depths of cruelty. Well, he's already doing that, so I don't understand why Superman needs to subject more people to cruelty. Again, some of these like early Superman stories are really badly written. It's probably because of the high demand for Superman. They had to write stories very fast. So, I can understand why, but still, it's badly written. That's exactly what I'm afraid he'll do, and all because of you. Chief, you know it's impossible to convict a wily rat like Superintendent Wyman unless you've got evidence galore. Well, I actually propose to go to Corytown, get actual photographs of his cruelties, sworn testimony from abused prisoners, and destroy his reign of terror once and for all. So if I wrote this story, what I would have done is, before he published the story, Superman goes to George Taylor, the editor, and he says, I'm going to go to this. I have a source where I hear these guys are being abused, so I'm going to go in. I'm going to go in as Clark Kent. I'm going to infiltrate this place, and I'm going to take pictures because I got a trusted source. That's what Superman would have actually done. The reason for all this other stuff is just to fill out pages, pretty much. Clark, if you're sincere about this, but I am, please believe me. I'm doing this the hard way, risking everyone's scorn, but only because I want to make Wyman so overconfident he'll hasten his own finish. Maybe I'm going soft, but I believe you. Grab a camera, hurry down to the Corytown and get that story. Gee, thanks, boss. Later, within the privacy of his apartment, Clark Kent dons his Superman regalia. Superman goes into action tonight. And an instant later, is tearing along a country road at terrific speed toward Corytown. Next morning, having purchased an old suit and an even more antiquated flivver, Superman carries out the first step in his plan. Here comes Wyman now. Wham! The disguised Superman desperately rams his car into the superintendent's brand new auto. Crash. You cocky dope, why don't you watch where... Hold on, it was your fault. My fault, you're lying. Arrest that man. I charge him with assault and battery as well as bad driving. Yes, Superintendent. Let him fight his own battles. Later, in the Corytown courtroom where justice is a mockery, Tom Daly, I sentence you to 6 months on the chain gang. Only 6 months? Why, that'll be a snap, Judge, old boy. Full of impudence and wisecracks, eh? I'll soon have them lashed out of you. Tisk tisk, such talk. When the chain gang is reached, I have a special treat in store for you. Only guards. Take him to the stocks. Shortly later, how do you like it? In a little while your back and arms will ache unbearably. It could never be as unbearable as to having to look at that ugly pus of yours. An hour passes. I can't understand it. He should have been writhing and pleading for mercy long ago. The man has the resistance of an ox. I hope you boys aren't tired of standing. It's mighty swell of you to have me sit here nice and cozy, while the others are working hard. Is it possible, Superintendent, that you've a secret liking for me? Let him loose and put him to work. And when I say work, that's exactly what I mean. Superman is led to where the other prisoners labor like beasts, breaking stone. There, now you're chained where you belong, with the rest of the riffraff. Take this sledge and have those rocks smashed in half an hour, get me? A whistle while you work. 5 minutes later. Loafing, eh? Didn't I tell you to smash those rocks? They're smashed thoroughly, efficiently, and definitely. Strong guy, huh? It won't take long for us to break you of that. You see this pile? Well, it's twice as large. Get to work. Righto. 5 minutes later. Pardon me, but could I have some more rocks, please? Holy blazes, you're finished. Say, if you keep going at this pace, we soon won't have any rocks left to bust. Later, supper. Are we actually supposed to eat this slop? We eat it or starve. Can't. After the convicts retire for the evening, they're all asleep. Guard at the gate. Here goes. Superman's great muscles launch him noiselessly over the heads of the unsuspecting guards. Shortly later, he is streaking full tilt towards Koreatown. And a few minutes later, he's speeding back toward the chain gang in costume and with a package under his arm. Once again within the chain gang's quarters, Superman photographs. These pictures of the stocks can be accompanied by a caption referring back to Puritan atrocities. Just as Superman is snapping a sweatbox. Uh-oh, someone coming, probably a guard. It's an escape from concealment, he observes. It's an escaping prisoner, Crane. As Crane mounts the barbed wire fence, a guard sights him, fires. Get down from there. Struck Crane hurtles to the bottom of the fence's other side. Next instant, however, he scrambles to his feet for the dubious safety of the swamp. It's Crane. Get the bloodhounds. He won't escape us a second time. Within the swamp, frightened by the hounds, saving as they draw nearer, Crane stumbles into a quagmire. It's quicksand, help. Superman has hastened after Crane. He now finds himself into a terrible predicament. Help, help me. Coming. Unheeding the danger, Superman plunges into the bog. Go back, you'll die too. Keep calm. So terrific are the Quagmire's grip that Superman almost tears Crane apart in drawing him free. He's fainted. And now Superman begins his great battle forward. He struggles as the quicksand seeks to draw him under. Forward, step by step. The quicksand clings tenaciously as though loath to lose its victims. But the Man of Steel succeeds in reaching solid soil. Bloodhounds. At the foremost beast leaps, Superman ducks. It sails over his head and sinks into its doom, amidst frantic howls from the bog. Next minute, Superman springs out of the remaining dog's reach. Things have come to a head sooner than I expected. Superman returns Crane to the chain gang camp. Will the superintendent be surprised to find his pirate prey where he least suspects? Shortly later, from concealment, he photographs Wyman flogging the fugitive. I hate to stand idly by, but it's for the best. Throw him into the sweatbox. His torture has only begun. Mercy, give me food. Hungry, Crane. Starving? How do you like to have some of this food? Most prisoners hate it, but you'd like some of it now, wouldn't you? Well, you can't. Ack. A hand descends on Wyman's neck with an iron-like grip. Helpless in Superman's clutch, Wyman's face is buried amidst the food on the plate. Let's see how you like this undigestible slop you fed your prisoners. Lub. Superman removes Crane from the sweatbox, substitutes the terrified superintendent in his place. I've got to leave you now, but I'll be back, maybe. Next instant, the Man of Steel is dashing off into the night, a fleeting shadow under the moon's heavy rays. Later, the governor's mansion. He's snoozing away for all he's worth. What? You'll find out when the camp is reached. Now all you've got to do is listen, Savvy. Glub, I'm going to give you some of your own medicine, Wyman. I'm going to plug the air holes. You'll suffocate and die, just like your own victims did. No, let me free. I swear I'll never torture the prisoners again. You've heard his confession, Governor. Now it's up to you. So long. But wait. Office of the Daily Star. I'm sorry we all misjudged you, Kent. Your photographs helped vastly to convict Wyman and clean up the conditions on the chain gang. Thanks, Chief. The end. Superman, the strip sensation 1939 in every issue of Action Comics. Tell your friends. Yeah, I think that's the last, that's the last one. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want me to read a specific comic, just let me know down in the comments down below if you want me to read a specific comic. Yeah, if you could like, comment, or subscribe, that'd be appreciated. And I'll see you guys later.